Hello everyone, George here, and we're back in Five Nights at Freddy's, or Five Nights at George's, or whatever I'm calling this at this point. This part of the series, I wanted to dive into actually creating the Foxy mechanic, where if you don't look through the camera every so often, it will run out and charge the door. Problem is that as I've been looking at reference material, this doesn't quite fit with what I have right here. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. In addition, it looks like I've got some glitches here and there, like right there with the wall. So let's just go ahead, right click, verts, and that's not going to be an easy. Let's grab everything from the side, grab all these elements, constrain it to my x-axis, and V to snap over there. Perfect. Save that. The interesting thing here is I was basing this off the layout, but the layout doesn't quite match, well, what we see here. So here's another image that someone put up somewhere. You got this cam 1C, and then looking over there, and that's not matching what we see in an actual reference material, where it's a circular stage that the individual stands on, Foxy, and we have two sconces on either side of it as well. So we're going to have to improvise, I think, and part of that is once again removing, whoops, it's probably going to be removing these elements. Now it looks like I have a bad method for selection on, so let's go to Window, Settings and Preferences, and select Settings, Selection. And let's go to center, save, thank you very much. Now I can do center selection. Anyway, we're going to want to repair these walls now, and really this entire area doesn't make a whole lot of sense anymore. And I'm going to grab all of this. We're going to need some room, so I'm going to push it all off to the side. And I'm still going to use this space. I'm just going to put the entire cylinder within that area. So let's grab all of this actually, and let's really push it all the way to the edge. And same thing probably with this section here. Grab all that. I'm just going to push it out ever so slightly. Okay, save that. I should actually probably save these to a new scene. So rough floor layout, 03, 04, enter. Good. Now that I have that, let's repair these elements. Grab both of these. Let's do a, what do we want to do? We want to do a extrusion. Extrude and bring it down, V, middle mouse click to snap. Do the same thing here, G key, constrain, V, middle mouse click, and let's make sure our verts are welded together. Verts, right click, merge verts. Yes, that's all good, enter. All right, now we can bridge these elements, this one and this one, right click and bridge. And there we are, our little room is set off. Now we need to put the stage in here. I'm thinking about modeling the stage elsewhere and bringing it as a separate asset later on. So why don't we just do that? Let's grab all of this actually, all of you. And that's pretty much where I'm constrained to. So we're gonna shift right click, go to duplicate faces, separate duplicating faces, hit duplicate, and I'm gonna grab the whole thing in world coordinates and just move it off to the side. Now that we have this, I'm going to grab this entire thing, go to File, Export Selection, and make a new scene, not as FBX, but as Maya LT file. And let's call this Foxy's Pirate Cove. Let's just call it Pirate Cove. _01. All right, let's save this scene, File, Open Scene, and find Foxy's Pirate Cove. Pirate Cove, there we are. Grab this element. I'm going to bring it back to the origin. Let's first do a Modify, center the pivot, hold down the D key, the top, and V snap to the bottom. Grab this, hold down the X key, middle mouse to the center area over there to get it right over there. And I am also going to rotate this so it's Z forward, just in case this is an asset I plan on reusing at some point in the future. Okay, so we have the rough extents of what our room should look like. So now we have to fill this whole thing. Let's look at this reference material again, view the image. There we are. So we have a sign, but more importantly, we have a circular stage with what looks like a series of lights around the bottom. The curtains themselves, and the curtains have to go through a series of stages where they open more and more and more. And then we have these two sconces, which should be modeled in as well. So let's grab a cylinder. Cylinder, please. Thank you. Right click. Let's add a few more elements to it. So let's do 40. That's good. Since we're going to cut half of these out anyway, potentially, I'm guessing, let's go to the face on the bottom, grab the bottom. You know what, before I do that, we should really, let's give me another sub cap up there so I have something to work with. Grab all the elements at the bottom, grab these, X middle mouse to the center area right there. Let's grab all of this and move that down as well. F8, and I'm going to, let's see, right click face, go to the top of this thing, and let's start, well, first of all, I want this, right click face mode, no, you please. you're going to disappear for a second. We're going to right click face mode on that. We're going to grab all these elements here. I am going to delete them. F8, it's still in the center, that's perfect. Let's go to display, show all. I'm going to assume that the bottom of the stage is going to be very comparable to the top of the stage in terms of function and form. So we're going to move this entire thing to the back here, and now we're going to scale this thing up. And we're probably going to have to be a bit liberal with how we apply this to our level. It's not going to be exactly perfect. I don't think so, at least. All right, so there's our stage. We've got those lights on the bottom. Can't see much from the reference material on the lights. Let's see if we can't find a slightly better image. Not really a whole lot going on here. It looks like there's a reflection on this surface, which is why we see the stars. Yeah, it just looks like some lights, some circles around the inside perimeter of the thing. So we're going to go with that. All right, let's just go with the light. So let's create how many lights? Roughly, how many? 1, 2, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, 6, 10 maybe, 10 on each side, something like that. Let's make some lights, create a cylinder, rotate this thing 90 degrees, somewhere around that. And let's scale this thing down. Move it on out, frame up, move it up as well. And does it have a lip on the top? Or is it just it looks like it's just a cylinder within a cylinder. So let's give this another subcap, grab that portion of this, scale it on up and out. Since we're going to delete the back anyway, we'll do something like that. Right click, go to face mode, grab all of these faces, make sure we don't select any on the back side. And we're going to right click, do an extrusion inwards on this, somewhere around there. We should probably, let's hold down shift, right click, insert edge loop, bring it up over here, dock it, there we are. That's not correct. Dock it over here, there you go. All right, we're going to do relative distance. We're going to put one somewhere around there. And we're going to go in edge mode now. Now that I have that subdivision, I'm going to scale this one in so I can work with it. I'm going to pull it out so it's got a dome shape. I'm going to right click, go to vertex mode, bring this one out as well, pull that forward. And we're going to give this a little bit more roundedness by grabbing that entire loop, going to bevel edge, and fraction somewhere, I don't know, around that, segments, and continue to make that a little bit larger. That's good. Now we're just going to pull these out a bit so it looks a bit better. Let's try to get a side shot of that. Grab this element here, pull that out, make that one a little bit larger, and same thing with this. We're going to pull that one out and just round things out a little bit. You could have left it as it was and then done a soft selection on it if you wanted to. Whatever works for you. There we are. Okay. So there's our light, and going back to the reference, I don't think it's indented that far, and these are not nearly as thick as shown here. So let's delete the back elements, right click this, click on this, right click vertex mode, let's go to shading X-ray mode, and bring this up somewhere around there. And I am probably going to right click, go to face mode, grab this ring, and let's just do a control right click, grow selection, G, good, and I'm going to pull all these elements forward, F8 twice, save, W, good. Let's go to shading, X-ray mode now. Now we have this as a template. We're going to put the pivot of this object in the center area right here and then rotate this thing over and over and over again. The first question though is, do you think they have one in the center? I would assume so, so we're going to go with that. Let's call this edit delete by type history. Call this pirate cove underscore light. Great. Probably underscore 01 as well, underscore 01. Before we duplicate this thing, it's up to us. Should we set up the UVs or should we just let it be? Let's give ourselves a little bit of help. So we're going to UVs, we're going to go to a planar on that object. UV, planar, make sure we're coming, let's do bounding. We're coming at the Z-axis. We're going to keep image width and height, hit apply. Now we have that set. Now we can come over here. This should still be cylindrical in the UV, so I can work with that. And this, let's check out the UV window, modeling, UV editor. Take a quick look at what we're dealing with here. Right click, let's go to shell. We can grab this, move it off to the side. This element here is that top ring, which doesn't quite respect what's really going on here. So let's fix that. Double click this, grab the ring, go to UVs, do another planar on that. So there's the other element. Now the sizes aren't quite correct, but that's fine. Truthfully, if we wanted to, we could have done both of them and constrained the size, but it doesn't really matter. Face mode, grab these guys over here. Let's do a UV and cylindrical. Cylindrical right there. Let's fill that thing out and rotate it by clicking this element here, going to E and whoa, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Go back in time. Maybe not that far back in time. Right click face, grab, come on. There we go. UV, cylindrical, there we are. Let's hit apply. We projected this element, we're gonna click down here, we're gonna click there, we're gonna rotate this 90 degrees, which is right there, 90, and then we're going to finish this thing. So first we need to find the gizmo. Where's that gizmo? There it is. Grab that gizmo. Finish this off around the entire extent of the object. Close enough. Close that. Now we have that whole thing unwrapped. Where is the top and where's the bottom? All right, so the seam is at the top. I really want this to be on the bottom. I could either rotate this thing 180 degrees around, or we can just fix this right here. So we're going down the Z-axis. So let's see if we can't just do 180 right there. Now the seam is at the bottom. All is good. I'm just going to lightly UV this thing out. I'm not doing anything major yet. We should probably do another cylindrical projection on this element, and let's also do another rotation. Let us click on the there we go, ring, and we're going to rotate this thing that way, which is a negative 90 degrees, and then we are going to fill this thing out. Click on this element, fill that out as well, and that's that for that area. Just wanted to lay them out quick. So moving this back into place, we're going to click this, hit V right there. That's obviously not, oh, first of all, D, V, move that into there, take this, click that to there, but there's definitely not enough. So we're going to sink that in ever so slightly. We are now going to W key, I'm going to hit D and V, and let's go to shading with wireframe on shaded. Are we set up properly? Yes, we are. Constrain to that. Actually, we don't even need to constrain. We're going to D and V this right there to that center pivot on the back of the stage. And now we're going to duplicate this thing, let's say every other. So Shift D, go to rotation mode, rotate it to somewhere around there. Do we get a nice number? That's 18, 19. What about 18.25? There, is it just 18? Just 18, please. Just 18. Thank you. 18 looks like it's good, so let's do Shift D. And apparently I lost it by doing that, so let's just do 18 and 18 is what, 36? So 36, enter, Shift D, and we won't do one on the end. Grab this one now, Shift D, and rotate 18, or negative 18 degrees, so negative 18, enter, and Shift D, and we'll leave the back element off for the moment. Those seem a little bit high up. Can't really tell what's going on there with that image. There's a lot of reflections. Well, we'll just have to improvise. So I'm going to assume the stage goes in at some point. So let's have some fun with that. Right click, insert edge loop tool. Let's do relative. I'm going to do it somewhere maybe around there to center things off. Then I'm going to go in here and grab all of the lower elements right there. And what's the easiest way to do this since things aren't symmetrical anymore? Might be easier for me to just delete that. Right click edge, grab the edge of that, grab nothing up there. Now that I have those elements, right click, let's do an extrusion, and we're going to do an extrusion inwards on this object, something like that, and then G key and down to the bottom of the stage. Right click, extrude back in, and just not quite so much, just a lip. Hit G again, go to world mode, hit that, and V snap it to that corner right there. Better, I like that. We're going to right click edge, grab these ones, do a bevel on that, that's extreme. Let's do maybe 2 segments and reduce that fraction down substantially, something like that. We don't need to really do it under there, so that's fine. Okay, so that's the beginning of our stage. We're probably going to want to take this bottom element, duplicate it, and put it on the roof as well. So Control D up, and I'm guessing it's not going to be that tall because that's a bit ridiculous. So rotate that 180 degrees and move this up here and maybe snap it to that element right there. That's probably an okay height for this. Now it is out of frame where it links to the ceiling, so I might even want to take this a bit higher. So if I do D over V, up V, good. Now that goes up to there, and I might just grab this here and extend this all the way up to the ceiling. What do we want to do? Bring the ceiling down or bring that all the way up? I could put like a sign like Foxy's Pirate Cove or something right up there if we just extend this up. So why don't we do that? Grab this, and actually we're going to extend it flat up. take these elements, delete them, You know, we're going beyond the reference material because we don't have any reference material for this. So it is whatever we want it to be. Right click, edge, double click, make sure we don't have any of the bottom selected, right click, edge mode, extrude mode, bring that up to the top, and we'll put a nice sign up there at some point saying, hey, Foxy is amazing. Okay, so within this now, we're gonna have an inner border where the actual, the curtain has to go. So we're gonna need to create a curtain and then run some sort of modifier through it to give it that nice ripple effect. And then we'll probably just create 3 or 4 different stages for the curtain with it being progressively more and more open. So it looks like this at first, and then it becomes, so actually we need a sign, don't we? Sorry. So let's make the sign. Sign is just going to be a cube, and let's just shrink that on down, somewhere around that, and maybe there, and up, and continue to widen and shrink down. And let's take another look at that really quick, just to see if I'm generally in the right. It's much wider than it is tall. So somewhere around that looks good. Move this on out, move this on down. I almost don't want this on the stage. I almost feel like it should probably be in front of the stage, somewhere like that. And let's go ahead and take this, Control D it. We're just going to put another cube right behind it. We could extrude that, keep it as a single object, but why bother? Frame on up and face mode, come down here, vertex snap to the floor, and good. Okay, this should be brought back now to that. Right now, too much. D, V, snap, back, over, good, save, great. Let's just get this stuff in there and working and functioning. What does it say? Pirates Cove, that's what it is. Sorry, out of order, sign. We need the sconces on each side. Sconce looks like, do we have another image of the FNAF sconces, I guess? Did I make them already? I don't think I did. All right, never mind. We're just gonna do it. So what do we got? It's a cylinder and some wide things. So let's just do that. We got nothing else to work with. Bring it out, scale it down. Probably gonna have this thing. Let's put it on the wall somewhere back here and over and up. And this area is way too tight still. We really should. Well, it's going to be flared out, I know that much, and I'm guessing they're recessed elements one within the other, something along those lines. So let's just grab the top of this thing, grab the top of it, scale it up, and let's just do right-click face. And just make this one element, why not? We'll scale this, whoops, into itself. Why not world? Scale it in, G it, maybe move it down and in. Do the same thing again, and then hit G, do it again, G it up, out, and world space, scale it on out, move it up a bit. What else? And then there's an inner element to the thing, so let's just do G, just make this whole one solid object, G it down, and then we will hit G again, move it all in, G it up, and move that up, G again, set that in, that's probably too big, G, down and in, and that's where our light will be recessed, which the user will probably never ever get to see. And what are our proportions like compared to this? The top is a bit large, the bottom should be pulled down more, and this should also be changed a little bit. So this part right here should be brought down, great. And this inner element right here should also be scaled inwards a bit. And we'll just go with that, I guess. Why not? The top is too tall. Let's grab all of this, just bring it down. All right, let's just call that a sconce or lighting fixture. Foxy Cove lighting fixture underscore 01 fix. Sure. Edit, delete all by type, history, great. Let's duplicate that. That's your position, where are you? That's your position, let's do that. And hopefully it mirrors across the axis, great. Then we're going to get some Z fighting on the inner element of this, I can already tell. We're going to need to inset that a bit. So grab this inner ring right there, and let's just scale that in a bit so that the two don't conflict. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, anyway, let's duplicate this again, Control D, move this over, and that's just going to be So duplicate the sconce over there, all is good, and let's save things as it is. File, save scene as, _02, stage. Hopefully in the next few videos, we'll finish this model out, get it into Unity in the rough state that it's in, and then implement the code. And then at some point in the future, we're gonna have to come back and actually texture everything we're working with. All right, everyone, so that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please let me know by putting a like down below, or if you want to continue watching this series, feel free to subscribe. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.